Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel, and say hello to my girlfriend. My Starscream girlfriend, that is. I'll explain what I mean when we take a look at the Dark Energon Transformers Prime Starscream in the latest GotBot True review. Hey guys, thanks for coming back to the channel. I'm your host, your humble host, Dennis Moulton, aka GotBot. As always, please like, comment, subscribe, share, and check me out everywhere. Have a look at Machinery of Man, the Everything Factor. Why not spend some time on the channel, see what it is that tickles your fancy. Of course, check out Universal Collision as well. And I said that this was Starscream Girlfriend. Okay, there's a bit of a story here. Many years ago, when my girlfriend found out that I was as much of a fanatic for Transformers as I am, she really got on board, and she very quickly identified herself as aligning with the Decepticons. And I've joked many times that it's because she's evil. But she might really be evil. And she has often said that Starscream is her spirit animal, and if you've been following me for any length of time, then you've heard me refer to Starscream Girlfriend. She actually went and picked this guy up from BBTS, saying that it was the incarnation of who she is because it was both dark and pink. In other words, dark, but somewhat feminine, I suppose. Of course, the pinkish purpley on him is supposed to be reminiscent of the Dark Energon coursing through him, and there was a whole series of those. So she picked this guy up and renamed it as, I think it's Dark Moon, Dead Moon, something like that, and because she's also a huge Sailor Moon fan, and calls this version of Starscream a she. There's the background. But what about the figure itself? Well, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it's based on the first edition mold, which is a pretty good figure. This is highly involved, but pretty effective for what it's supposed to do. First of all, the paint. Again, it's not really reminiscent of Starscream, but we didn't get that Dark Energon kind of gift curse, you know, in the program. I do think that the smoky translucent wings, the kind of black on the body mixed with the extra bright color is very, very eye-catching. The top of the plane looks fantastic. Of course, as we come down to the side and the bottom, naturally there's a robot underneath. Big shock. And it doesn't have a dedicated landing gear. There is a little molded in wheel there, and two more molded in wheels back right here in blue, and it's supposed to function as landing gear. I get what they were going for. They don't move. So for the paint apps, again, for accuracy, I mean, I got to give it. I love the look of the Decepticon symbols on the wings as well. But in terms of accuracy, I mean, I have to give it a 0. It's not accurate to what we had on the screen. But in terms of looking cool, it's a 10. I think it looks so cool. So this is the way it came in packaged, so this is the way I'm going to transform it, and I'm kind of happy about that because this is a little bit easier. I will talk about things as we go through so that you would know sort of how it would go back into vehicle mode from robot. So where do we begin with this guy? Well, we begin by taking these missile things off the wings, and I'll get back to those in a little bit too. They are soft rubbery plastic, but we'll talk about those in a little bit. They just tab up under here and here. There are a couple of rectangular tabs. We come to the back and we untab the legs, and they really just tabbed up inside here. So we bring them down. Now, here's what's interesting, I guess, to note, or something that should be noted, is that you have a purple hinge here and a black hinge here, and this is where a lot of the movement happens for the core of the body. So you bring this down from vehicle mode, and you turn it around, and then you bring it all the way in. You're going to want to make sure to really make this joint in both modes as tight as you can, because it's what really brings the body together, and if it's not as tight as it can be in plain mode, then you're really not going to be able to peg the legs in. So we bring that down, we turn it around for now. It is not pegged in, but we bring up these knee pieces, and I'm going to tell you now, they're soft rubbery plastic. We open the feet, and open the feet. And you would think that with a toe and a heel and kind of side spurs here that this figure would stand well. Not particularly. Again, we'll talk about that in articulation. So that's kind of the bottom of the body really done. Next, turn the whole plane around. So you have the front of the cockpit and the nose cone left on the back. Now you can angle up that pink hinge and the black hinge and tab it all in. And that brings the whole body kind of together there. This is what I was saying, like you really got to have both of those be quite tight. But this is the bottom of the body really done. We unpeg the wings, and for now we're just going to angle them back so we actually have room to work, to do what we need to do. We come up here and I would say take a firm grasp of the two tail fins and open them up. They will become the arms, and this whole section becomes free flowing. And we're going to bring that whole section all the way back. So you can kind of see that this is sort of complicated. Get that wing out of the way. You can see that there's a whole armature that comes back here. For now we're just going to leave all of this free flowing, I think. Because it's just easier to kind of deal with that after we get the arms down. Split the body of the plane. And when you split the body of the plane, what you're really doing is bringing the shoulders down. Angle the shoulder and angle the shoulder so that the arms are facing down. Flip out the fist. The fist is flipped in right here, and that actually is flipped up underneath, and that needs to be done in order to kind of hide them during plane mode. So make sure when you're doing the arms, not only do the arms peg together and the molded detail kind of fits into each other really nicely, but make sure that you have the hands folded up. I can't call them fists because they're not fists. Open out that hand. Then there's a slider over here that's quite tight. Slide it all the way down. And then turn the arm so that we actually have the elbow. Same here. Slide it all the way down. Turn it so that we actually have an elbow. And I don't think I have it quite all the way down. Hold on and I will check. I did not have them all the way down. If you don't have them all the way down, you're going to tend to put the arm this way and bend it this way, and you're going to just have a little bit of an elbow bend, and he's going to have the gorilla hand. But if you bring it down all the way, there's a little pin in here on the slider, and you really kind of gotta pull it down till it clicks, and it's a little bit uncomfortable because I don't feel like the plastic is really thick. But once you do that, you get a much better 90-degree elbow. But you have to kind of bring that down till it clicks. Next, go to the back here, and let me get this wing out of the way. Go to the back here where we have this section hanging away, and pull out his head that was in a cavity here in the body. You're going to bring this up over, and it will tab in. Straighten up the wings there, and now we can deal with the whole backpack assembly that's sticking off here. So how do we deal with this whole assembly? Well, we come here to the tail fin and we split it open. We bring it up. And I believe we're supposed to be able to hinge it all the way down. Yeah, we hinge it all the way down, and we bring the tail fin in on the back like that. Now that you have it turned around, you're supposed to hinge the whole thing back down and in underneath, right there. And in the end, boom, please stand. I'm begging you to stand. You can see the issue I'm having here, right? There, and in the end, we have Starscream in robot mode, looking as spindly as ever. But I can see why Starscream Girlfriend would call it a little bit feminine. Now, he comes with this. It's 3 missiles. It is soft, rubbery plastic. We have a rectangular opening here. And that rectangular opening, oh, by the way, we push up these tail pins. There's tail pins right here on the side. You push those up. Because the rectangle that's left over, the little rectangular peg that's left over, is what the cannon null ray things go onto. And he looks like that. So for paint, we didn't have a very good score. For transformation, it is involved. There are a lot of small moving parts. It is so interesting. If you like involved transformations, this guy is probably a strong 9. If you don't, and you're nervous with hinges and pieces of plastic that are thinner, and you're worried, hey, I'm a Butterfingers, I might end up breaking it. I don't know if this is the Starscream for you. I like it. I have used this version of Starscream in Universal Collision. He had a not a major role, but a very important role. And I enjoyed animating them. I enjoyed using them. I just wish that when he was used mostly, my animation skills have been a bit better. They've been slowly improving, and that was part of the point of Universal Collision, was to show an evolution in that process. I'm actually probably going to do, I was asked to do kind of a couple of, I'm not going to call it tutorials, I'm going to call it showing off how I do things videos, and they'll be up and coming of kind of how I handle some things, especially for the novice and the beginner who would like to get into it and really don't have the funds or the technology to invest in more expensive equipment and whatnot. Just some ways that they can start doing their own animations. But that's a story for a different time. To summarize, so far, we have a 0 for paint apps, even though I think it looks fabulous and would personally give it a 10. We have an 8 for transformation. Overall, again, it's about a 4. Let's get into the articulation. Well, the wings can actually move all the way back if you really want them to, which is great because it gives you a full range of motion in the elbow. You have a swivel, you have a 90-degree elbow, the hands can go in and out. You have a head that can look up and look down, look left and right. Now, the crest, unfortunately, on Starscream Girlfriend's is bent. The head really kind of goes into the body, into the chest, and that little crest is a piece of soft rubbery plastic. It's something you're going to want to watch for. Hers was like it at a package. You could, heat it up, I guess boil the head or use a blow dryer and reshape it, and I'm sure you could. I don't know if it's worth it for our purposes. The arms can go all the way out to the sides, and he has a great looking silhouette. He has waist swivel, which is pretty fantastic. He has legs all the way forward. I mean, you could bring them all the way up. Legs all the way back. We have 90 degrees at the knee. A thigh swivel, a bit of a thigh swivel. Really it's, I guess we should call it a hinge swivel, but it works like a thigh swivel a little bit. The toes and the heel can move, which is good because you need them to pose this guy so that he'll actually stand. What a pain to stand though. And the little knee things, they do also move. there. The silhouette is very Starscream. The articulation is great. You can get a lot of poses. And I would like to give it, honestly, I'd like to give it a 9.5. But because the feet are such that it's so hard to balance the guy, it got to go down to about a 6. So difficult to balance the guy. So we had a 4, we have a 6. Again, this guy's about a 5, 5.5. Which is almost not fair because really, I want to call it about an 8.5. It's a good figure. It's just that the lack of him really looking screen accurate and the kind of weakness of not having strong feet to stand on really is what hurts the guy. Now, that being said, once you get him stood like that or in any pose, once you get him balanced, he's pretty good. He's pretty stable. He's probably not going to just fall over on his own, but getting him there is tricky. Here he is with, and I'll say this, he's a good size. Here he is with the RID Starscream, and I mean he's bigger than this guy. I looked at this guy full in episode 126. I wasn't really impressed with this, even though many people like him. The legs were so loose that they literally fell off at a package on mine. Here he is with my go-to Starscream, who also appeared in Universal Collision. Actually, so did the RID one. He's much bigger than this guy. This is the FOC, my custom FOC Starscream that I looked at in episode 112. And here he is with another one that I just recently looked at. The Starscream figure that probably never should have happened. The very peculiar Transformers Prime Beast Hunters Starscream. And again, he's bigger than that. So for a deluxe, he's quite large. Not quite Voyager, but relatively close on. Certainly scales really well with, for example, the Transformers, pardon me, the Transformers Prime Megatron. So overall, yeah, he's about a 5.5. He's not stellar, but he is really interesting, looks phenomenal on the shelf, and though it might not be the best incarnation of Starscream or the best figure, I think just for unique factor alone, just for being interesting and eye-catching, and just for having that beautiful, smoky plastic used on the wings, I really want to give the guy, on a personal note, easy at 8.5. Let me know what you think about him. Was I hard on this figure? Was I too easy on this figure? The official score is about a 5.5. My personal score, 8.5. Like I said, let me know what you think. As always, I thank you for dropping by. Thank you very much for giving me some of your very valuable time. And I look forward to the next time that you and I get together for another visit right here inside the video.